SAST looks at your code. DAST attacks your running application the same way a real attacker would, just hopefully with permission. Today we're talking about what dynamic application security testing finds that static testing can't, how to run it without breaking production, and how to act on the results. Let's start with what DAST actually is. DAST stands for Dynamic Application Security Testing. Automated tools send crafted requests to your running application and observe how it responds. It finds issues that only exist at runtime, things like authentication bypass, session management flaws, server misconfigurations, exposed debug endpoints, and missing security headers. DAST is black box by nature. The tool doesn't see your source code, it only sees behavior. That actually makes it useful regardless of what programming language or framework your application is built on. Let's compare SAST and DAST directly, because understanding when you need both is important. SAST finds the vulnerable code before it's ever deployed. DAST confirms whether that vulnerability is actually exploitable in the deployed environment. For example, SAST might flag a potential SQL injection in your code. DAST then tells you whether your web application, firewall, your input validation, or your framework's default protections actually prevent that from being exploited in practice. Neither tool replaces the other. Together, they answer two different questions. Is the code risky? And is the running system actually exposed? Now let's talk about how to run DAST safely. Always run scans against a staging or test environment that closely mirrors production. Never run a blind scan against production without careful scoping and a defined timing window. There's also a difference between authenticated and unauthenticated scans. Most of the real meaningful findings come from authenticated scans because that's where the logged in user attack surface lives. The parts of the application only visible after login. Rate limiting and scan windows matter too, especially in shared environments, so a DAST scan doesn't accidentally take down a staging environment that other teams depend on. For modern applications that are API first, make sure your DAST tool is configured using your actual API specification, like an open API or Swagger document, rather than just crawling a user interface, which often misses most of the API surface entirely. Let's go through some common DAST findings and what they actually mean in practice. Missing security headers, things like content security policy, HSTS, or X-frame options, are often low effort to fix but frequently overlooked. Verbose error messages that leak stack traces or internal file paths are an information disclosure issue. They help an attacker map out your internal environment. Session token issues are another common finding. Tokens that don't expire properly, don't regenerate after login, or are predictable in how they're generated. And outdated TLS configurations or weak cipher suites are still surprisingly common, even on production systems. For each of these, the remediation effort varies quite a bit. Some are simple configuration changes, others require code changes, and some point to a deeper architectural issue. To wrap up, DAST results are often technical and hard to prioritize without context. RiskRecap reviews your DAST scan output, separates the quick configuration fixes from the real architectural issues and rolls the findings into your risk register and monthly report. So your team knows exactly what to fix first, and your leadership can see the trend over time.